Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land and hashtag Transformation Tuesday. This woman is single-handedly transforming the luxury fashion space for children. Sandra Makarem is in the house. She is the founder of The Collective Child. So tell us a little bit about your experience with this startup.
Thank you guys so much for having me. So we launched the company about 4 years ago, and I actually did it as a side hustle while I was working full-time at Bloomingdale's in the industry. And we've actually grown significantly in the past 4 years and maintained a wait list of up to 1,500 members. We're very, very fortunate because we sort of landed in this influential marketplace, and so we've been able to scale that way.
What is The Collective Child?
Yeah. Great question. So we are a personalized luxury shopping platform for children's luxury clothing. So the way that it works is you sign up and you create a profile with us and you'll tell us your preferences as well as your kids' information. And then based on that, we will curate a selection of clothing and ship it to your house. And then you have 7 days to shop at home. Whatever you like, you keep, and whatever you don't like, you send back.
Oh, that's awesome. It's all the pain out of the shopping process, right, for parents?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. When we first started, we thought that would be it, right? Like we would be saving moms a lot of time, which obviously moms need the most. But we then ended up finding out that the way that we were servicing them was providing a vehicle of brand discovery. I think moms are missing sort of like, what's the new cool brand out there? And that discovery process is actually extremely time consuming. If you think of like what your shopping process is, it's like you're scrolling page after page after page to find the perfect product. And so we facilitate that process by introducing her to emerging international brands.
So just playing little devil's advocate for a minute, we know that the clothing industry is the second largest amount of toxins, if you will, on the planet. Mm-hmm. How are you guys dealing with that? What do you see in the industry? How are we taking accountability around this?
I love that you're asking that question because our members are actually very focused on that. Mm-hmm. And so we do a really great job of sourcing eco-friendly brands, whether it's Stella McCartney or other more emerging brands that are doing.
I love Stella. She's my favorite designer ever.
She's amazing. She's actually one of our top brands. But we also do a really good job of introducing our members to new brands that they might have not heard of that are actually having a good, positive impact on the environment. And then the second part is we're focused on luxury. And I think there's something that's sort of like not spoken. To me, I'd rather buy a dress that will last a year, 6 months, than rather buying something that maybe costs 1/10 of the price, but won't last more than 30 days. And so it's also important to sort of reduce the amount of items that you have, maybe spend a little bit more, but I think it's a much cleaner, safer way to consume clothing.
Absolutely.
It's so hilarious. I have a funny story about this. Okay, so Bloomingdale, I love and the whole industry. We grew up so poor in the hills of Santa Barbara in a hippie colony, and my great-grandmother would go shopping at these fancy stores, and she'd send us boxes of things she had never worn before, and these like glamorous things, and we were like, what is this? We're like barefoot in the mountains. But I think that luxury, I completely agree with you. I think that buying one piece is so much better than buying 20 pieces of crappy clothing. Yeah. So I do think that there is a payback to earth around that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Back to your journey as an entrepreneur, Sandra, because I think it's so interesting. You mentioned this was a side hustle for you, and now there is a wait list, and you're transforming the industry. How did you kind of balance that and stick true to what your vision was while it was just a side hustle?
So I think I had to maintain a lot of focus in that process, and it didn't come without sacrifice. Obviously, I had 2 full-time jobs, but ultimately I think it made me better at both. Having that perspective, and I think with women, sort of like you go on this like third gear and you sort of push through some tough times, but I think we're actually exceptionally good at multitasking, and I think that proved to be right throughout that process. It was important for me to scale the company large enough so that I could sustain a salary for myself and a salary for my employees, and so that took sacrifice of a lot of weekends and a lot of nights, but ultimately it was the right decision, and I'm very, very proud of the team that we've been able to build this way.
Just fantastic. Was there any specific business practice or lesson learned along the way that really helped you turn the corner in terms of scaling the business?
Yeah, I think for me, what is always sort of close to my heart is I think with people that are trying to start businesses, ideas are fantastic, right? Ideas transform, art can be transformative, ideas innovate, but ultimately what drives growth and success is execution. So for me, it was sort of setting a series of goals that I executed as fast as possible, and it really exposed me to what could work and mistakes that I was making along the way. So it's, I think the key is executing as fast as possible and learning as much as you can from the wins and the losses in that process.
Love
And
that.
this
Gotta
dress
take
you have
action.
on is beautiful. Who's this
Thank
by?
you. It's Ula Johnson.
Oh, looks gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Thank
for all your
you.
work.
Thank
Please
you
tell
so
everyone
much.
where they can find and follow you and get Collective Child.
So you can follow us at The Collective Child on Instagram and then sign up on thecollectivechild.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.